Is he much of a Clockwork player? Because that could be a 5 or a 3, as we can start to talk a little bit about this draft, Smart Omega versus Fnatic, Game 1. I was keeping my eye on some of the earlier series. It seems like Axe and Medusa seem to be the heroes of today, at least in the upper bracket, which is we see an Axe on Smart Omega, could be offlane, could be carry, and on Fnatic, Ancient Apparition, Puck, and Clockwork.
I don't think that. I think it's very unlikely that Death plays a clock here, because I think for Fnatic, they really like it when both their support players play something that has a lot of kill threat on the map and kill potential, because both of their support players they have a lot of killer intent. You know, that's when they shine. You don't really want to see Japs and DJ playing like safe heroes, because that's just not how they have been playing Dota for like the past 5 years or whatever. So I think it's most likely. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, especially when these two players you're talking about, they're both former like mid laners, off lane players. These guys, you know, in their, I guess, previous primes, they were core players as well before they became supports.
10 seconds remaining.
Kind of goes against what the Animajor meta was, though, because it seems like heal heroes were extremely popular throughout the tail end of the Animajor. T1 was actually one of the most heal-oriented support duos of the entire tournament, and so I would have thought that that may have trickled down to the rest of SCA, but based off of the games that we got to see earlier, it does seem like it's more of the killer instinct support duos with a lot of stuns. And then also Fnatic did pick up the AA first phase, so that kind of discourages Smart Omega from going for the Wyverns that we saw so much of.
Yeah, exactly. I think for T1 is a special case because Zephyr is a bit of an anomaly when it comes to a pos 4 player. He's one of the rare position 4 players that really plays based on concepts and playing. He likes to play Treant pos 4, Abaddon pos 4, you know? Like no one else does that in C, even in the world maybe.
So what's the concept that he likes to go for then? Was he always kind of like a tree spammer, or is it just something that he found was good in this patch?
I mean, my impression of Zephyr, and this might not be entirely accurate, but I don't think that he prides himself on being very mechanically skilled like other players in C. I think he finds his edge in Dota by thinking a lot and thinking about how to strategically beat players. So he ends up with these heroes and these lineups and playing in this team where they really look like they win from strategy, you know. And like, of course, Carl and 23 Savage are like really good mechanically as well. But for Zephyr, I think his edge over other players is that he's smart. He's really smart about the game.
I love having those enabler supports. And next set of picks come out. It's going to be the Medusa, which is it just not ban-worthy? Because every single game that I saw so far of upper bracket, I think the Medusa won, which was TNC versus SMG. It was the Medusa on SMG. Oh, they actually ended up beating it with the Terrorblade on TNC. So game 3, they ended up beating SMG's Medusa with the last pick Terrorblade, which is not banned out yet. So maybe Fnatic should consider banning that out. And then for Boom versus Execration, Boom only picked Medusa one time, and they ended up beating Execration's Morphling.
Yeah, and I think especially potent to pick it up here, like you're picking it, then you get this double ban to protect it. I guess Omega's just thinking there's enough carry options. You mentioned the TB. They only get a chance to ban PL, now Ursa, so there's still options, but it does feel like it's a particularly good place to pick Medusa.
Yep. For against Medusa, there are 4 clear counters when it comes to a carry matchup. You have PL, the Ursa, Terrorblade, and the PL, Ursa, Terrorblade, and Anti-Mage. Yep. So as long as Fnatic feel like they can deal with, as long as they feel like they can deal with the last pick Anti-Mage or Terrorblade from Smart Omega, they can just fourth pick this Medusa and last pick something that's good against TB, which is what they're doing. They pick a LC.
Wow, okay, so they actually leave TB alone, they pick up the Monkey King instead, and Fnatic are going to pick up Legion Commander for Death.
Death special.
Really?
Yes,
I was actually disappointed that in China I was seeing XXS on Aster play Legion Commander a lot, and then it was just completely ignored for all of the Animajor and ESL. Why would they find it good here, aside from it being a Death special?
I think it does provide a lot in the draft in terms of I mean, maybe I'm not right, but to them, the only thing that can beat their Medusa right now is Terrorblade, right? And since the opponent has the last pick, you kind of have to pick something that's good against Terrorblade to outmatch their win condition and deter them from picking a Terrorblade. and then they pick a monkey.
10 seconds
And now,
remaining.
as Fnatic, you can tell yourself, all we have to do this game is like drag it out, let our Medusa farm and get the Aegis, and we'll eventually win the game.
Yeah, so I guess the lane's going to be a little bit worse than they were hoping for, but ultimately, it doesn't really... Yeah, Smart Omega don't seem like they have the late game answer. Why did they pick the Monkey King as opposed to a Terrorblade or any other carry?
I think maybe the player just feels that the matchup is too hard. Like the LC will bully the Terrorblade out of the lane, and even in the mid game fights with this LC and the Puck like AoE spells, the Terrorblade will find it hard to go into the fights because all your illusions just die instantly. So the only damage that comes from a hero is from your own hero. So maybe he just feels like Monkey is just a better option overall to scale in the game.
It almost feels like they're looking at Lina more as the answer to the Medusa, whereas Monkey King's going to be this laning hero and frontliner. So definitely curious. It does feel like Omega is going to be playing this more fast-paced tempo kind of game with the Monkey King pick.
Yeah, they're going to have to, because based off of what I've seen, Medusa seems to be still the be-all, end-all carry that she always was. Yeah, sure, the nerf from her talent going from 15 to 20 was a little bit tough for her, but seems like Southeast Asia's doing a good job in making it work. Well, I'll leave you two to it. GoDz Ponlo, take it away for game number 1.
Awesome. Thank you, Tsunami. And Ponlo, welcome to your first professional cast of Dota 2. I'm excited to be here to join you. How are you feeling now? We're at the end of these drafts. Do you think either team's got kind of a clear edge at all in any way with what you're seeing?
I feel like, so for Fnatic, they have a very clear win condition, right? And they have one of the strongest carries in terms of consistency, in terms of how consistent he is in the ability to carry a game. And they gave him the game to carry it. They gave him the out-carry matchup. But Omega's heroes I would say that their heroes are still really like aggressive, and they still can take fights really, really well. And Fnatic don't have that much like team fight, They don't have that much damage in the mid game. So...
Oh. We're going to see Jabs in a good position with the boots early to scout out some early aggression from Omega. And I mean, do you agree with what I'm saying? It does look like Omega is going to be looking to play very aggressive, like seeing already Orb of Venom on Monkey King, and just generally these lanes, like an Axe Mirana lane, a Monkey King as a laning counter to the Legion. It does seem like they want to play pretty kind of fast-paced and aggressive in the early game.
Yeah, so for Omega, they're going to have winning lanes. So for them, the important thing is being able to translate those winning lanes into taking the early mid tower and the top tower. So it's really going to be on this Puck, on whether he's going to be able to deter that tower taking. If Omega get to take the mid towers and the top tower fast, they're going to be able to close the map, and the rest of the Fnatic heroes are going to find it hard to get any farm and levels. Only the Medusa is going to be farming.
MH tries to steal the top bounty rune, unsuccessful at doing so. And we'll see our lanes kind of kicking off here. Nothing too unexpected or crazy. As far as Omega goes, you mentioned taking that T1 tower mid early. Are you worried? Because they don't really have heroes that push towers particularly well.
They're gonna need something special, like they need the Lion to smoke onto the Puck with the Lina to kill. And once they kill the Puck, then it's much easier for the Lina to hit the mid tower. Or something like a 6-minute DD rune. Something like that. Or use the siege creeps. They need to find a way to take the towers. It's gonna be super important for them.
Jab's going to come in early. Nice job securing that range creep here, as we'll see some of these lanes unravel. Any particular lanes you're kind of looking at as like, you mentioned how Omega want to kind of get off to a good start and roll over. Is there any one lane you think they have a really good chance of kind of rolling over and winning convincingly?
I think the top lane might be really good for Omega, because when the X and the Mirana get a few levels, they might be able to start on the Medusa, and the AA might not be able to help and do much. And once they get 1 or 2 kills in this lane, they're gonna snowball, because the X is gonna get the Vanguard, and the Medusa is gonna have to leave the lane super early. And that just means the X can just cut the top lane, and they can get the top lane tower at like a super early timing, and they don't have to move the Lina to top lane to take the tower. So they are gonna be able to focus their attention onto the mid tower, and get the mid tower by like 12 minutes.
Even there, we saw Shanks almost landing an arrow that could have killed DJ, but DJ manages to get back. Also gets a pull-off, so Shanks not finding this sentry ward. It's in the trees, and as a result, DJ up top is going to get a D-ward, so... That was a missed sentry opportunity from Shanks, which is going to make this top lane a little bit trickier.
Yep, the X, but the X, they can't really stop the X from farming. He can have the option of just dragging the creeps before it reaches the wave and just farming it. So.
back at bottom. GoDz playing aggressive, trying to stop some of these pulls from happening, but he's given up the Jingu stacks to the Monkey King, who is going to hit him with a Boundless Strike, looking for 1 or 2 more right clicks to finish off the first blood. Can he get it with the Orb of Venom and another Impale? CML gets the kill. Good start for Omega. You mentioned the lanes being an important part in finding an early first blood. They go a long way to help boost them up.
Yeah, I'm really positive for Omega this game because I feel like from how I view them as a team, their skill is definitely not their issue. And because their draft seems like they have quite a balanced draft. Oh.
Wow. Oh, the arrow found a creep. Otherwise, Sam H may have couldn't kill their Medusa. Unfortunately, didn't get too many spins either, so. It often feels like these teams where you kind of mentioned, what you're trying to say is like, you know, they are very individually talented, and teams like that can, you know, I would say Fnatic the favorite, teams like that can cause upsets when they have these really good snowball-y drafts that can win lanes.
Right, like for Omega's draft, I don't really see a glaring weakness that they have right now. As long as they are able to, like I said, take the objectives that they are supposed to take at the early timing. So I'm feeling much more positive about their chances this game compared to before I saw the draft, you know, from the team's profile.
Yeah, I mean, so far all 3 lanes looking pretty solid. They've got the top 3 last hits in all of them. Lina with a pretty decent edge over the puck. Monkey King was zoning out the Legion Commander, forcing GoDz just to pull waves. They cannot lane against this Monkey. They're just forced to constantly try and manipulate the lanes to mess things up. And then, yeah, top lane, you've got the Axe you mentioned, just kind of free-farming away. What do you think Fnatic need to do? Is this just about surviving the lanes, or is there any kind of plays they can make?
I currently, with the current state of affairs, I feel like it is going a bit too badly for Fnatic. Maybe they need to play with the 5-minute siege, or they need to make a rotation somehow onto this this Lina when their puck has 6, and play off a power rune on 6 minutes for the puck to make rotations to a side lanes. Because it's gonna be really hard for the puck to rotate in this game against an Axe and Monkey if he doesn't get a power rune, because those 2 heroes are very hard to kill.
Now just the 4-minute water runes that they're playing around, but we'll see if those, you know, supports start rotating to try and secure those 6-minute power runes, because it can be so impactful, as you kind of mentioned. Whether it's a DD for Lina to push with, or some kind of haste type rune for the puck to go ganking with.
But the Medusa is doing... He's gonna have about 22 CS at 5 minutes. That is not the greatest. I don't think they have any stacks as well. And even if they do have stacks, Sam H might just go in and take it when he has Vanguard. So that's not a very viable strategy either.
It feels like GoDz is being kept busy entirely having to pull waves to help the Legion out. He hasn't had a chance to go for stacks. And also just Clockwork, not a good hero to stack with. DJ on the AA has gone to do some stacks though. So just now we see some of those first stacks coming into fruition, but GoDz on the Clockwork just kind of lingering around this mid lane, trying to see what he can do to find Mac on the Lina, and he is going to run into him, but he's alone here. I'm not sure GoDz is going to win this battle with CML rotating on the Lion. He's just going to cogs his way out of there. So GoDz with some nice kind of scouting information there, and not much really comes of it.
Yeah, I really like this ward that DJ placed at the top side of the map on Dire, because it has 2 purposes, right? One, it sees the Mirana, and 2, it sees if the Mirana plants an ops, because the Mirana knows that the AA is trying to stack for the Medusa. So you can like deward the ops that the Mirana put, because you already put the ops.
Rotation up top from the Lion's gonna lead to an initiation on the AA here, but they don't have the arrow follow-up in time, so not much comes of it. Things kind of just settling down. Those 6-minute runes does go the way of the puck, but just a regen, so definitely something he can gank with as far as just being able to spam out the lane and then TP somewhere, but not the ideal ganking rune, perhaps.
Yep. Like the Monkey has already told his Lion, like, yo bro, I'm fine in this matchup. I'm like owning and free farming. You can go top, and this Lion just goes top at 5 minutes and plays the map, on the aggressive side of the map. I really like this move. They are using their resources properly on Omega.
Well, we'll see if any of those early rotations come similarly from Fnatic. It seems like they've done the same thing with their supports. GoDz has just left Death alone, even though he can't win this bottom lane. He's able just to constantly pull creeps from behind the tower and ignore Monkey King. So his game at least seems to be going okay, even though he is giving this Monkey King free farm.
Yep.
Jump from Tino looking for death here. He's going to get the Jingu stacks up, and now he's going to Boundless Strike here, but doesn't want to go chasing for it. You know, true carry player. There's creeps to hit, right, Ponlo? I mean, I guess you're not a carry player, but you've played with carry players. Yeah, you've seen your carry players do this. They're like, no, we got creeps.
I'm the support player that pulls the wave and pulls it to my carry and say, hey bro, I got a present for you.
And then he's like, leave, give me solo XP.
Yeah, I'm hoping for like, thank you bro, but I just get, give me solo XP.
Yeah. Sorry, later on you get the bonus gold from the stacks at least.
I mean, some carry players even tell you to leave for that.
Nothing going your way. It's rough these days. Poor supports.
But
hey, you get cheap wards at least, you know?
Yeah, the wards are really, really good now for support.
Dire's top tower.
At least Fnatic managed to clear their stacks. The stacks didn't get stolen. So
DJ's starting to stack some Ancients. Do you think we're going to see a fast Blink Dagger on the Axis? You know, you've got this kind of laning a win, and they're maybe looking to snowball. Is Blink Dagger going to be a big part of that, or will he go a different direction with the Axe build?
I imagine that he wants to get the Blink this game like ASAP because he has so much damage to follow up on his call. So much. Every hero on his team can follow up with damage. And as an Axe player, when you initiate, that's all you want. As long as you have damage on your team, you feel good about buying Blink. And Fnatic don't really have a good answer. They have LC, but even after the save, the person might still die because they can just land another stun after the LC save.
Well, Omega, some really strong discipline up top. There was a smoke gank from the puck, and it seems like they knew it was coming. They smoked and everything. The Axe is baiting with the Vanguard. He's happily going to take this one. They're going to turn it around with the line and the Mirana. Can the Axe fight his way through this one? Sam H gets the dunk off. Culling Blade killed, and he doesn't even die. Perfect bait from Omega. They saw it coming. They backed off. Even throughout the scan to kind of knowing it was coming their way. They only get a clockwork kill out of it though, but still a nice move from them.
Yeah, a very good deterrent because that was like Fnatic's only thing that they could have done in this early game. If Park gets a good rune, like a double damage, arcane rune, right? But even that didn't amount to anything. So yeah, things are rough for Fnatic right now, I think.
That's the Dream Caller. Pretty low cooldown at least, so it'll be up another 30 seconds. Do you think it's just keep on going, keep your Chuan? Like, are you looking just to keep making those plays? It does feel hard without these support level 6s. Like, having an Ice Blast there would have made all the difference.
Yeah, for sure. I think if Trent keeps trying to walk around the map and making this plays, which he kind of needs to, because his teammates, the heroes on his team are quite passive for now, he's going to suffer a lot in terms of his farm, and the game is not going to get easier for him. You know, when the Lion starts to get the dagger, the Axe starts to get his dagger, like the Puck is not going to be able to split the map like we used to see on Puck and catch up in that manner. So Train's game might get a lot worse in like the next 5 minutes.
They're going to lose that top tier 1 mid tower. Top tier 1 tower. Mid tier 1 still very healthy, and Fnatic eyeing off some of those level 6s on these supports. It does feel like Clockwork and AA are going to get a hell of a lot more impactful once they have those level 6s. But for now, Fnatic playing around that siege creep, one of those things you mentioned, they're going to eye off this bottom lane. But it does feel like if they commit too hard to this bottom lane, Mega may just go for this 2-1 mid tower even.
Yeah, I'm looking towards whether the Omega is going to bring all their heroes here. Everyone except their Axe is coming for this move. This is super important for Omega. If they are able to do a lot of damage to this tower, it will open up the game so much. And for Fnatic, it's gonna be about whether they can defend this tower with the Ice Blast. I'm not so sure that they can.
Fnatic even bringing the Medusa to try and make sure it goes down. They do get rid of the siege creep, so that's the important thing. But meanwhile, bottom tier 1 has been kind of defended here. Shanks gets the arrow on the siege creep. He does go for the deny, gets the deny on the tier 1 tower, dodges the Dream Coil. Shanks! He's a magician. He gets out with the Moonlight Shadow as well with an Ice Blast flying in. That's not going to land. And, well, they lose the tower, but a very nice play in mid lane. Meanwhile, Mac once again pressuring this tier 1 mid. Doesn't need a siege. He's just right-clicking away.
These plays that have been made so far are creating so much for Omega. The Axe not joining, the Axe farming the ancient stacks. It's like kind of greedy that he didn't come for the 10-minute siege, and they didn't get the tower at 10 minutes. But because of what the Mirana did bot, he opened up the map for 30 seconds that the Lina can freely hit mid tower because he's not afraid of the coil anymore. And he just got the mid tower just because of that.
And their item timing looks really spooky right now. You've got Monkey King about to finish Diffusal. Axe has a Blink Dagger now. It feels like, and Lina has Yules. It feels like all three of their cores just hit like a really good power spike.
Yeah, right now, Dev is gonna have to play the worst role that I know he hates. It feels like he has to play the paramedic, you know? He has to run around the map thinking which teammate is gonna die, and he's gonna have to press his spell on them. And I know that, man. He hates to play like this.
Mid, Blink Hole, catches out Tron. There is a counterplay. Jabs goes for the hook shot here, but the two-man impale. CML was ready for the counter initiation. They get the duel out, but it's not going to amount to much. Axe still alive. He's hit by the Ice Blast, so he will end up dying there, but Fnatic taking heavy losses. 3 dead with the Stone Gaze deterring any further aggression from Omega. Omega now reconsidering going back in, but they don't have the Axe with the Blink, but still they get a 3-for-1 trade. All of that without the Monkey King. A great initiation coming in the mid lane.
Yep. Like I discussed earlier, there are so many stuns on Omega. They have so much in their arsenal. One simple LC save is not enough. Even if you save the guy, he's gonna get stunned another time and he's gonna die.
Jabs kind of has the right idea, going for the hookshot counterplay, but he just hookshotted into a 2-man impale, so really tricky stuff for Fnatic, and it does feel like to some extent they're just going to have to throw some bodies and lose lives to allow Medusa to farm, because this game's kind of starting to get the feeling that it's going to be a sit back and just hope Medusa can farm enough to get you back in the game.
Yeah, it really does feel like that.
Hookshot top. They get the pushback with the cogs. Okay, nice play. That's a nice pickoff. Tron getting himself active here. How do Fnatic, you know, basically, are they just... is there any kind of thought to playing aggressive with the puck when Druin pulls up, or is it just sit back and counterplay, do you think?
If I were on Fnatic right now, I know that I can't take a proper team fight, so... On Fnatic, you need to read the map, and you need to smoke with 3 heroes, and go somewhere, and get a kill, knowing that the opponent will react, and bring like 3 or 4 heroes to react, and get out as...
Gone in with a jump on the Jabs, just the clockwork. The Moonlight Shadow initiation paying off a little bit there. The Axe was scouted down bottom by an Observer, but he was totally alone, so he was a bit of a decoy why they went for kill top. And a huge thing would be if they can get this top tier 2 tower and take an early enemy outpost, that's going to make a big XP difference. Like, how important do you think it is for Fnatic to defend this tower? Can they even defend this?
Basically, if they lose this tower, they're gonna lose Roche. And then after they lose Roche, they're gonna lose their triangle. Because the opponent is gonna take ages and run into their triangle. And like, Omega is playing this game so well that I did not expect this from Omega, honestly.
Yeah, I imagine most people had Fnatic as favorites. I mean, it is obviously perhaps the new roster aspect of it, but we are seeing Omega just coming out flying. Slightly unexpected Monkey King pick, not the usual counter pick for the Medusa, but the pace they're playing at is just something Fnatic don't seem ready for.
A game of some sort?
Yeah, the Fnatic doesn't really have that many options right now. Like, they need to do something that's generally called making space, I guess, with their heroes. And they just need to hope that the right opportunities arise. But if Omega play the game properly, they take this top tower, they take the outpost, they buy a medal, they take the Roche.
Yeah.
I find it really hard for Fnatic to come back from this game.
When I hear making space, what I'm hearing is one of your supports or offlanes needs to just run around and feed a bit while Medusa farms. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, and you need to feed in a manner that your opponent feels like they need 4 heroes to kill you. If you're just feeding to 1 or 2 heroes, it's not space.
So tactical feeding, not whatever the opposite of tactical feeding is.
Maybe Train. So right now the Train is the most juicy target, right? So Train needs to play like a madman and make like 3 or 4 heroes run to him on the other side of the map.
Perhaps that gets a little bit easier once he finishes the Blink Dagger, which unfortunately is still a little bit of ways. But yeah, you can maybe make some of those very aggressive kind of lane pushing suicidal plays. But for now, Medusa just farming that enemy jungle as well as the triangle, trying to see what they can get. Tier 2 tower goes down, which means outpost goes down, which means, I guess, as you mentioned, next step is Roshan. I mean, Fnatic are just watching Omega go through the motions. is there any thought to contesting a Roche that happens in the near future, or is it just trying to get whatever farm they can get? Hold that thought. Puck goes in, gets the Lion. Hex is there, but the arrow doesn't land, and the hook shot, they're going to find a nice little pick off on the Lion. Just a support, but no punish.
Yeah, I think they're far from being able to contest a Roche. I think the most that they can do is try to snipe it with the blast and the rocket flare and the power, and try to snatch the Aegis and get the kill. But yeah, if they are able to do that, that's gonna give them a lifeline that they really need.
Whenever I see like ultimates like coils being thrown just to kill a support, I'm always thinking like, you know, that's a team that's just playing from behind, trying to just kill a support and then back off to keep farming. It doesn't seem like they want to take a team fight if they're willing to commit hookshot plus a dream coil for a support.
Yep. Right now Omega is just getting more out of the map because of their map control, and I imagine that they're just gonna win.
Oh, they don't get the arrow. Chuan with a nice phase shift off, but unfortunately he does not get the John out. Doesn't have a blink as well. Ooh, elsewhere, bottom lane, they get a dual kill though, so nice little counterplay. It's still just a Lion, but these kills at least seem to be slowing down things a little bit, but does not seem to be slowing down the potential Roshan. Well, I mentioned the puck maybe needs to just do a bit of space creating, and I guess you could say that's a start. Medusa still free farming away. Is there any worry for Omega that, you know, we keep talking about how well they're doing and how far ahead they are. It is still only a 4K gold lead, which is obviously, you know, a decent lead, but it doesn't feel like they're convincingly winning this game at this point.
I think it's slightly goal leads can be slightly misleading because it really depends on where your goal is on your heroes. Like having this 9k goal on Medusa, unless he has, like even with this Guardi, right? I'm not sure that he can turn up to a fight and be that useful. Maybe he needs one more item, so in other words, maybe like 15k on your Medusa means a lot more than like 11k on your Medusa. So
got it.
Yeah.
So if it's still a 4k gold lead when Medusa gets like 15k net worth, then Fnatic's probably in a much better position, it sounds like.
Right, exactly.
It's Puck space creating time. He's got the blink dagger, but it's on cooldown. He's going to get caught by a blink call into an arrow. Omega had the observer ward in the river, scouting out the puck there. And unfortunately, that means he's getting picked off for the second time in a row. Tough game to be this puck, it feels like.
Yep, very tough. He's dealt with in the draft, he's dealt with in the lane, and his supports can't really help him that much.
Yeah, and he's doing what you said he should be doing, which is playing this kind of aggressive space creating way, which means putting himself in potential danger. He cannot afford to play passively, it sounds like.
Yeah, if the puck plays passively this game, Omega is just gonna get like they're just gonna like kill two supports and eat up the map anyway. You know,
here we go. They want to fight into this Aegis, perhaps. They're smoked up with the pucks respawning, jabs flanking them from behind, but Omega see this coming. They throw out an arrow to the side. They seem to know exactly what Fnatic are doing. They're reading everything, Ponlo.
Omega look like they are playing the best game they've played in like 2 months, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, these guys... Oh, here we go, hookshot in. Is the fall going to be there? The Ice Blast is going to clip Sam H, so he gets the regen loss, and now they're going to look to take out the Monkey King as well. Does have the BKB, he's holding onto it now in the Dream Call, going to drop the Wukong's command onto Raven. Raven can't go anywhere, he's losing all of his mana, does get away with the Stone Gaze, throws out a Dream Call as well. Some good damage being lobbed in from the puck, who tries to finish off the line. One more right click, and with the Witchblade damage, gets the kill. Nice fight for Fnatic. They actually killed two, and they're chasing for more. Kino doesn't have BKB any longer, he's got the Aegis still to play around, but Fnatic catching out Omega there. How'd that fight go so well for them?
I'm not too sure, honestly. Like, when the Monkey ulti went out on the Medusa and the Medusa had 0 mana, I thought they were just gonna kill the Medusa, but they had like no more stuns left to finish the kill. It might be a little bit of a mistake for them to put the Aegis on the Monkey as well. I think this game maybe it would have been better for the Lina to take the Aegis so that he can be a lot more aggressive in the fights.
Yeah. I mean, that was, yeah, theoretically the fight where you've got Monkey King with a full duration BKB. I don't know if Lina had BKB for that fight or just picked it up, but does have one now. Fnatic just got the better of them. I guess, I mean, is that the game plan for Fnatic? Just killing this Axe first? Because he's the one they went on, and even though Axe traditionally very tanky, without a BKB, he did die without really doing a whole lot.
Yeah, if Omega don't manage to kill the person that they jump with the Axe call, it's hard for the Axe to leave the fight because there's so many things that control him, right? The block, and soon to be the Medusa's Skadi, and the Puck Coil as well. So they need to win the fight from the initiation. They can't have a losing fight on Omega.
Does that get a lot harder for them when this Axe, for example, gets a BKB? It does feel like their draft does not address BKBs amazingly well. I mean, maybe a Blink Duel, but are they going to struggle to teamfight in the BKBs?
Definitely. When this triple BKB on Omega is quite hard for Fnatic to deal with until like the Medusa hits critical mass where he has a lot of damage with the Skadi. So when they come in with the BKB, he's able to kill them while with the slow. That's not gonna happen for like another 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna get there. Well, it's it's doable. We see a pathway for Fnatic to swing this game back in their favor. And I think there's one thing to be said for teams like Omega, who are a bit younger in experience, is that we've seen teams like this get off to these good starts, but then struggle to close out games. And I think Fnatic surely know that if they can sit back and wait for that one good fight with the Medusa, things can start to look pretty good for them.
Yeah, for sure. If Fnatic is able to hold the game as it is right now, and not let Omega use these Aegis to get all the outer towers, I think Fnatic chances of winning this game is it's really adding up. Because this Aegis that Omega has, they're not really using it that well currently.
Trying to take some map control, they de-ward a little bit, but they haven't really gone over to that Fnatic triangle to fully take over that area. They're playing a bit more passively for now. Axe does have a BKB, so perhaps that changes a bit here. As both teams just playing on opposite sides of the map, and here comes the Moonlight Shadow. They've de-warded, they run in, there's sentries littered around this Fnatic base, but they're not even interested in playing near this triangle. They're on their side, playing around their reclaimed outpost now. So we'll see if Omega makes a move. But it doesn't seem like, without an Aegis, it seems like they're a little bit more tentative here, Ponlo. Do you think they should be playing more aggressive, or is this what you'd like to see from Omega?
I feel like if the Aegis was on the Lina, he'll be much more able to push out the map effectively, and Omega can run a 4-man ganking squad, and they can just clean the map and choke the map out. But because their Aegis is on the Monkey, their Lina doesn't feel very good about pushing the side lane, because at the end of the day, he's still afraid of this Blink Duel, because he doesn't know when the LC might get the Blade Mail, and they can throw an AA Blast as well. So there's that kill threat that it makes it a bit harder for Omega to clean the map out, and Fnatic is able to sort of sneak in a bit of farm here and there,
And now with Aegis expired, I was about to ask, are they just waiting for next Roshan? It doesn't seem like that's the case. They smoke up and they're pinging bottom. It feels like they're trying to make plays in a very safe 5-man oriented way. But Fnatic themselves are like, yeah, we're going to sit back and make all the safe plays ourselves, avoid any kind of confrontation, but confrontation may be coming their way, as camped on the high ground, still smoked up for another 10 or so seconds is Omega, but both teams, it feels like, just playing very close. This game has that kind of TI qualifier feel where both teams are just playing ultra safe.
Yeah, we are playing for $40 million, guys. Don't die, guys.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be the carry player that gets caught out once.
Exactly.
No Roche respawn for at least another 40 seconds, but Fnatic making an aggressive move of their own. Go to the enemy Ancients, hoping for an initiation of their own. That's off of the Raven item timing. He's completed the Skadi, 17, and they've got the Blink on Legion. So you mentioned answering the BKBs. It does feel like they're going to be looking for that Blink Jewel to blow up somebody before they pop a BKB.
Yeah, the best case for Fnatic is if Def manages to find a Blink Duel on this LC and they blow her up with the AA Blast. Because once this Lina is out of the picture, a lot of the damage on Omega might be hard to deal out properly, because they depend a lot on the Monkey ulti to do damage to this Medusa, and they have to stun the Medusa in the Monkey ulti for that to happen.
Next Roshan, we go to casters always hype up how important second Roshan is. As a player, are we dumb? Is second Roshan not as important as it seems, or is that what is going to decide a lot of this game?
For the second Roshan, I mean, right now, the fact that it gives a shard is quite a big deal, right? And a hero like Medusa benefits a lot from the shard, but you only benefit a lot from the shard if you have an Arganims. Without the Arganims, you don't benefit that much. So I don't think it's that big for Fnatic. It's quite big for LC though. Like if LC gets a shard from the Roche, that will change a lot.
Ooh, that is, yeah, that's it feels like a huge one for that potential save against a lot of these stuns and disables on the Omega side.
Yep.
We'll see if Fnatic, they're dead set on controlling this enemy triangle in Roche area. Usually it's, you know, Radiant teams who have a bit of an edge when it comes to Roche, but Fnatic have set up camp. They've got double observer wards on both cliffs, sentry wards. They're ready for perhaps anything to come their way. Omega is going to go for a 5-man smoke Moonlight Shadow towards the Roche pit. We'll see if they go up to their triangle area. I don't feel like it's a very safe place to be, nor do they. Instead, they're going to the other side of the river. They're dewarding. This really is a game where both teams are just having this giant standoff around the Roche pit. And we'll have to see what breaks. I mean, how do you see this standoff ending? Is there going to be like, is it just Roche respawning and one team going for it? Or is one team that needs to make an aggressive move?
I feel like, well, if I were Omega right now, my focus would be on cutting the top wave and cutting the mid wave. And if Fnatic still don't return to their own side of the map, maybe you can have Lina pushing the bot wave because the Lina has travels. And someone can camp the Lina in case the LC tries to kill the Lina bot. So you need to choke out the map, cut all the waves, so that the opponent isn't able to touch your towers. Like right now, Fnatic is hitting the top tower, right? If they don't have creeps, they can't do that.
And speaking of cutting waves, that's exactly what, you know, Puck is doing mid as well as Medusa was doing top. So both teams cutting this mid and top wave. Does seem like that bottom lane is being ignored, and so we'll see. Yeah, Mac is going to head down there, perhaps put some pressure, because if he pressures his bot lane, somebody has to come and defend. As long as he doesn't get picked off, which is something you have to worry about against a Legion commander, this bot lane does pose a bit of a problem. There's a double creep wave with the siege creep, and Medusa has to TP back, so they're going to actually give up full control of this triangle where they set up all these observer wards. Like, you know, they built their base around those Radiant Ancients, around that Roche pit, and they just have to ditch it. They're like, we're out of here. We got to go defend the creeps.
Yep, and it all came from a very simple macro play that Omega did, right? They cut top wave, and the Lina went bot and pressured the bot tower. And just doing such a simple thing influences the game so much.
And instantly, D-wards come. There's a gem. Oh, they only D-warded one ward. They didn't check the other spot. Oh, here we go, Blink Jewel initiation. They go in on Mac, but he gets the BKB off. Is the damage there with the Ice Blast and the Medusa? The Stone Gaze catching out too. They've already killed Lina and Lion. Sam H in full retreat with his BKB. He's low to standard fight, and they've lost 3. Mirana getting low. Will get finished off by Chuan. Perfect initiation. Fnatic. They found the one fight they were looking for.
Death Sama LC. What did I tell you? Special.
It's his hero. Yep.
Tino also got Stone Gaze like halfway while channeling his ulti, and that like lost them the fight.
Oh yeah, didn't even get it off, so 4 for nothing. And it's, you know, it's gonna get worse now when you're looking at a Roshan plus all map control lost. And so much of that came, it feels like they thought they'd done everything right, de-warding the first cliff, but they didn't check the second cliff. They smoked under a ward, they also got jumped under the ward. Fnatic just using that vision that they'd set up previously to win a fight convincingly.
Big brain ops by Fnatic. You put 2 and you make them think you only have 1.
Yeah. Also, the other thing they did, as soon as they 5-man TP to defend bottom, like usually you send one hero back to defend that bottom lane, they 5-man TP, pushed it out, and then 5-man smoked instantly. I don't think Omega were expecting them to get beat back at the Roshan pit that fast with 5 heroes smoked up.
Yeah, that was really quick and really disciplined by Fnatic. I feel like they are really like coming together and figuring out a way to win this game. It really looks like that.
You mentioned 15k net worth for Medusa. She's now at 20k net worth, and Fnatic have basically evened up the net worth here. I mean, we always got to ask this, is this late game Fnatic favored when you look at these heroes in drafts? I mean, obviously there's the ages factor right now, but would you favor their draft regardless in a late game scenario?
I think that between right now, which is 30 minutes, between 30 minutes and 45 minutes around this time, where Omega doesn't really have that much damage yet, they will find it hard to kill Medusa, and because of that, Fnatic is gonna have the edge in teamfights right now because of Stone Gaze. If you don't kill the Medusa, he presses Stone Gaze, you're gonna lose the fight. So for now, Fnatic has the edge, but I imagine at around like 50 minutes, once the Lina has like Daedalus, MKB, you know, and the Monkey has like a lot of damage and the level 25 ring, they might have enough to kill this Medusa, I'm pretty sure.
And ultimately, pick off up top. They found Shanks here. Puck. Chuan with a nice little find here. He needs to get out here, but Lina as well as Monkey King are on the hunt. Can they find him? The LSA a tiny bit, fraction of a second too early, and it looks like Puck is going to jaunt his way out of there. Meanwhile, bottom lane, you've got an Aegis Medusa, and this is not just a tanky Medusa. Orb of Destruction plus Daedalus Raven, getting some damage mixed in there as well. He's going to get pulled by the Medusa, but there's a Clockwork. So gets Hex before it goes to Clockwork. Nice save from the press the attack. Gets Jabs out of there. Fnatic can disengage now with the Mirana buyback. They may just want to back off a little bit and continue sieging, and that seems to be the play here. That's the call from Omega. They're sitting back, waiting patiently, perhaps waiting for some kind of arrow to land or a blink call. Tino in the trees gets scouted out by Nice Vortex. He's going to disengage. He needs to get out of there. Doesn't want to pop his, doesn't have a BKB. He's going to be careful. And Medusa just ignoring everything except this melee Rax. Omega just going to have to give up this bottom lane. No way to stop Fnatic.
Yeah, Medusa is such a Aegis-based hero. When the hero has Aegis, it really feels like you can do 3 times more than you were doing. And Fnatic just understood that and they just walked down bot and took a Rex for free.
Well, that's one lane. We'll see if they can do the same elsewhere. Aegis still has a couple of minutes left on it, and Medusa only getting stronger with a BKB nearly completed as well. See if Omega have any answers to this. Any consideration to fighting into the Aegis, or are they just hoping to stall it out?
I don't think it's advisable for Omega to fight to this Aegis. I mean, if you look on Fnatic's lineup, right now the LC is like following the Medusa around so much. I think on Omega maybe you just try to open up the map a bit and split push the side lane while this Aegis is on Medusa and try to delay the game out, because I think fighting into this Aegis is, especially now that he has a DD rune, it's gonna be really dangerous.
Hook shot in. Down bottom, they go in looking for Mac on the lean of the pullback into the cogs. They don't quite pull him in. Instead, it's the Lion going down. Mac being chased, trying to force a BKB, but patience from Fnatic. They're not going to overcommit. They're just going to siege with a double damage Medusa, force out the glyph. But with Aegis still with a good minute left on it, they may have to just give up a second lane of Rax here, it feels like.
Yeah, I don't think they can deal with this guy. This Raven
Having the Orb
Medusa.
of Destruction is just been so nice. He will get the Yule Scepter off the Urgent, but where's the answers? Tino getting caught in the enemy cogs here. The arrow going to come onto Jabs. Jabs in trouble, dies with a Boundless Strike. Perhaps Omega can defend the second lane here. That'd be huge for them, and it looks like they're going to force Fnatic to retreat, and if they can wait out 30 seconds, this Aegis will time out as well. Omega just trying to do whatever they can to delay. Tino, Boundless Strike. Ooh, they were looking for the puck, but the Blink Call wasn't there, and instead, it's going to be Axe. Doesn't have a BKB. He gets caught by the Blink Call. He's dead.
Oh.
No answer for the Axe, who's forced to buy back, and Raven with the press the attack is just shredding Omega. Max getting low. Lion dying. He is a raid boss at that. Tino looking to turn this one around. Gets the Legion Commander with a good Wukongs. Medusa kind of trapped in this one. Raven loses the Aegis. Can they go on the Medusa? I don't think they've got the damage. Instead, he's going to go for the supporting cast first. Now Raven could be next. Tino, he needs the lifesteal, but he just hasn't got the damage to deal with Raven. He's going to BKB now. This Medusa, absolute boss. No answers. Blink Call to pull him in, but I don't think Raven's afraid of too much here. The arrow for that land, it could have been, well, I don't know about problematic. It could have maybe deterred him from chasing, but Raven, he's just unstoppable, Ponlo.
Yep, Death as well. He bought back straight away. He understands that Boss Raven wants to take Rex. You listen to Boss Raven. Fight back. Come back.
Looking for the killing blow here. They get the hook shot on the backlines. Mac on the Lina in trouble, even with the BKB. He's just being right-clicked down by this Medusa. But he's holding his own. He's looking to fight. He wants Raven, but Raven gets some mana back thanks to the shard. Tino running in, looking for the Medusa kill. He's not going to get the press. The attack save is there. The call is not enough, and that's surely going to be GG as Omega. They had such a good start.
They really did.
Oh.
They really did.
They've got to feel a little bit heartbroken about that one.
I mean, sure, but I feel like if I were Omega, I would pat myself on the back in the sense that I'm pretty sure I can do better next game and like fix the things that went wrong. And I think I stand such a good chance against Fnatic.
I mean, you mentioned things that went wrong. This really does feel like a game where both teams played really good Dota, because you even said it, like, this is the best you feel like you've seen Omega play in a while. So definitely very promising sign as far as, you know, we head into this best of 3, that both teams are playing some really good Dota.
Yeah, like, both teams didn't get that many kills, but it was always, like, controlled. They always went to the right places of the map. They cut the waves that they were supposed to cut. The Puck is making the space that he's trying to make. He's doing his job, you know? Even though he gets caught out, he still does his job. And yeah, just good quality Dota from both teams, I think.
Well, we'll have a lot more to say about this game, but we're going to bring back in Tsunami to join us as we break down game number 1 of this best of 3. We'll see you then.